Everybody, I'm Gogito, and I'm bringing you guys another reaction video. Also, for one of my thumbnails about my power scaling videos, I know I did kind of got it from Goji Chronics. I do apologize for stealing his thumbnails. I did not steal it. I just add some things, and I just didn't know how to make the thumbnail, so I just kind of used it. But I promise I will not use it ever again. I promise. Just like I said before, I'm not practically use a story or even trying to practically cover it up. I'm just saying that I will not ever use it again. So, to all my subscribers and all my on-site believers that believe me, I will not do it again. I promise. You have my word. On-site Gazo guy, you also have my word as well. I seen that you comment down below about the thumbnails, and I know you're understanding and maybe anger towards it, but please do not strike my channel. I'm really trying to practically get to my goal of trying to achieve something. I promise I will not do it again. You just have to give me a chance. I promise I won't do it again. You have my word. Well, without further ado, let's do the video. I'll just give some important news and just get on with the video.
Of the two legendary Saiyans that made up each of their existences. Yeah. Now look at that aura of yours, and that lightning too.
Similar.
You've gotten pretty strong, haven't you, Gogeta?
Yes, indeed he has.
It's almost like looking at myself in the mirror.
Yeah, true.
Don't flatter yourself. If there's one benefit of fusion dance over Patara, it's definitely the infinitely better hairstyle. You could never be as handsome as I, and you know it, Vegito. But you'd be right. There's definitely some similarities. After all, I too have now mastered both Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, and most importantly, figured out exactly how to combine them for the Ultra form. As within the mind of Gogeta, we see the flashbacks of not only the young GT Goku in his MUI form, but also the short-haired GT Vegeta in his MUE form.
Pretty cool.
It took a while, but with all the tips you gave me when we trained, Beerus and Whis had their work cut out for them. But Vegito, hearing this, can't help but be a little surprised, but perhaps not for the reason we all think, as he says, "Impressive. To be honest, I would have never anticipated you to have mastered both without me. But then again, I didn't anticipate you to join with that god also. So all that progress was just from training with little old Beerus, huh? It hasn't even been long. In my timeline, Beerus would have spent most of his time sleeping." Watch your mouth, Saiyan. But of course, Beerus in the background, still covered in electricity and ready to battle at any moment, quips back in anger, continuing, "My timeline this and my timeline that. So it is indeed true. You are a meddler in time. A mortal committing one of the 7 cardinal sins determined by Zeno. I hope you know you won't go unpunished for this, kid. You're basically a walking dead man. I'll let you have your fun with your little twin over here for the sake of observing his progress. But once this is done, you're mine." Shut up, Scooby-Doo! I've killed you once, and I'll dispose of you even quicker this time! Sit tight, your time will come soon enough! Causing Ultra Vegito to immediately lose his temper hearing the threats of Beerus, powering up his immense aura before rushing in with immense ferocity straight towards Gogeta, as if he was imagining him as the god of destruction himself. But of course, the battle-thirsty Ultra Gogeta on the other end, who near enough shares the same love for a fight as Vegito, just smiles, tensing his body as he lets out, "It's about time you stopped waffling. Let's give Arg's subscribers a real show. fusion versus fusion!
Fourth wall break.
Having
Love it.
said that,
I just
Gogeta
love it.
finally charges in at Vegito with a grin on his face, while the other Fusaiyan, markedly, is far more serious. This isn't a game, Gogeta! Huh? Where'd he go? But just as the two get close enough to throw a punch, Ultra Vegito instantly vanishes.
Of course.
Well, that was anticlimactic. All that talk, and he runs away on the first exchange? What is he planning? And with that said, Gogeta then closes his eyes, in hopes of detecting the energy signature of Vegito. Come out, wherever you are, Vegito! How the hell has he marked his energy completely? Where are you? But as Gogeta continues to obliviously take his time in finding his foe, behind him an increasingly impatient Beerus watches on unimpressed. What did I tell you about watching your surroundings, Saiyan? Stop closing your eyes and look up for God's sake, as the former destroyer lifts his head and looks to the sky. Huh? What are you talking about? Causing Gogeta to break character and quickly copy his master in looking to the sky until he finally does realize. What? What is he doing all the way up there? Coward! Spotting up in the air something that looks no bigger than an ant. But as we zoom in the sky rapidly falling like a meteorite is Ultra Vegito. His arms bulked up and raised in the air as he shoots down yelling, "If I'm so cowardly, then just stay right there. I'll be with you in a flash." And literally, just like Ultra Vegito had said, instantly the enraged Saiyan crashes his fists straight onto the ground below where Gogeta was meant to be, sending the very surface of the planet to crumble all over and separate tectonically. In the aftermath, all that can be seen is a humongous crater, swathed in thick, dusty smoke. But out the gaps, the face of the God Killer peers through angrily as he comments, "Looks like we know who the real coward is now, don't we, Gogeta? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought this was supposed to be a one-on-one battle. What's with the tips from Scooby? You gods might not fight fair, but we Saiyans do." As Vegito then turns his head to the sky and now sees in an Uno reverse, Gogeta appearing like the ant in the sky, watching down. In the air, looking pleased with himself and smirking, Gogeta then responds, "Sorry, I was trying to get up to you. Call it a miscommunication. But you do have a point. Beerus, I don't need your involvement anymore. I'm the god of destruction now. Remember that and step aside." Causing the annoyed and disapproving Beerus to let out, "Why, you ungrateful brat. Fine, so be it. But at least just get on with it now and stop holding back. You Saiyans really do love to make the most of a battle, don't you?" That we do. That we do. But I guess you're right. It's about time I made my move. Before instantly Gogeta vanishes and reappears right in front of Vegito, launching a punch that lands smack bang on his face. leaving even Ultra Vegito to be somewhat impressed with the execution as he grunts, "What speed! There was nothing I could do!" As he's then carried, flying back, unable to regain himself from the sheer power and impact of Ultra Gogeta's fist. But Gogeta, not done in the slightest, bears a sinister smirk again as he continues, "Gone so soon? Here, I can't let you leave without a little souvenir, Vegito." As within each of his few Saiyan hands, two bright signature balls of energy then begin to form. "Hey Vegito! Think fast! I don't want this battle to end too early!" As Gogeta stands, arms wide open, ready to throw two concentrated balls of energy as if in a game of baseball. Instantly then thrown with power, three balls of energy that are thrown so intensely their very shape distorts mid-flight as they move. The balls then shoot forth like rockets, chasing after the still flying back Vegito, like rabid dogs, until... What the hell are those? Ultra Vegito lifts his head in alarm and regains himself in the air finally. Before in the nick of time, flying right into the air, as the two beams of energy seemingly just miss him, flying off to explode elsewhere. You didn't think you'd get away that easy, did you? Here's a little trick from our old friend Yamcha. As Ultra Gogeta then suddenly raises two fingers into the air with a confident smile. What? Causing Vegito to react in utter shock as he soon realizes that the beams of energy he thought he had escaped like a matador had instantly changed course to reach up to him as if they were heat-seeking missiles. But with one more trick up his sleeve, Vegito then quickly brings up his left arm saying, "Since when did Yamcha's attacks become the bane of my life? Fine! If you want to feed me some of your precious energy, then be my guest!" As immediately, not one to bluff, Ultra Vegito holds out his android arm and begins absorbing each and every drop of Gogeta's attack, taking in both beams without breaking a sweat as he comments, "I normally use this arm to absorb God Ki, but plain old powerful energy like this will do too. I feel stronger already." But before Vegito could take any more pleasure in the absorption of his foe's energy, Ultra Gogeta skillfully finds himself right behind Vegito, smirking as he interrupts, "Glad you enjoyed a taste of real power. Enjoy it, because you're going to need all the help you can get around me." As shockingly, almost in a throwback to Android 16 from the Cell Saga, Ultra Gogeta bear hugs Vegito from behind, immobilizing him instantly as he says with a smile, "Hold on tight, Vegito. You're in for a ride." "What? Get off of me, you freak!" As Ultra Vegito in response yells out maniacally, squirming with all his might to try and escape. Now, the more you struggle, the tighter my grip gets. Now just stay still. This'll be over before you know it." As Gogeta then swiftly shoots off into the sky at full speed, covered in aura, until instantly, in a perfect 180 change of direction, now shooting down to the earth, he still holds on to Vegito, who is becoming increasingly disorientated.
O trănire i porăcei, govo Pe ti capissi, amam Zan, вкусно е по пътя Светя
Honestly, I think I deserve it.
Направи поръчка и я получи за минути.
Maybe this will knock some sense back into you, God Killer. And just like that, a massive explosion of incomparable magnitude is then seen, shaking the very core of Beerus's planet, seemingly having been caused by the impact of both few Saiyans launching into the ground like a couple of maniacs. But soon enough, it's revealed floating in the air mid-twirl is Ultra Gogito, who it appears had jumped from Vegito just before impact, as he says, "Now that's gotta have hurt. I told you, you'd need all the help you could get with me." As softly and as elegantly as a ballerina, Gogeta then lands on his feet with his back turned to his victim, as he lets out of a cocky smirk,
Don't say victim.
seeming a little quiet over there, Vegito. Isn't this the part when you kill me and take my energy? Or have I flipped the script?
Not really.
As in the pile of debris and smoke that lays where Vegeta was decimated, just as Gogeta says, not a peep or sound vibration can be heard from the God Killer. Until eventually, once the dust settles, we're treated to the concerning image of Ultra Vegito's seemingly lifeless body sticking out of the ground,
he's not lifeless.
with his head firmly penetrated into the planet itself. If only you could see yourself right now, Vegito. You're closer to looking like me now that that ugly mug of yours is gone, that's for sure. I'm starting to think I may be a little too much for you in this form. Maybe I should go back down to Super Saiyan 4. Meanwhile, watching on with a big grin and a sense of pride, Beerus comments, "Not bad. Not bad at all, Saiyan. To tell you the truth, I thought you may have needed a couple more years to surpass this famed God Killer.
Oh,
but
he
that
does.
doesn't seem to be
He
the
does.
case. Looks like you didn't need my help after all."
You sure?
But unknowing to the Destroyer, back with Vegito, his body has already begun to move, as he angles his back and moves his legs until he pops out straight onto the ground and flips back onto his feet. He pops straight out of the ground and flicks back onto his feet. Much better. Before then looking down to his shoulder nonchalantly and saying, "That attack of yours has stiffened up my neck. That's annoying. Guess I'll do a Piccolo and sort it out the old-fashioned way." Proceeding to then crack his neck and
That crack on
continuing,
the neck though.
"Good as new." What? But Beerus, seeing this, is far from feeling his best, as his eyes pop wide open and he yells, "Why? Why does he not even look in the slightest bit phased? That attack landed head on. That was one of Gogeta's strongest attacks, was it not?
No, definitely
What's
was not.
going on here, Whis?" Whis, however, remains far more calm, as usual, as he more assuringly says, "It seems our time meddler over here may be a lot stronger than we first assumed, my lord.
Oh, definitely.
But not to worry, Lord Beerus, because our Gogeta-san doesn't seem to care much anyway. In fact, he seems to be enjoying this." Having said this, almost on cue, Ultra Gogeta then jumps forward to approach Vegito, before landing adamantly straight on with the God Killer, as Vegito says, "Oh, you again? That was kind of nice. It's been so long since I'd last been hugged, you know. Wanna do it again?" funny, Vegito, but unfortunately, I don't bend that way. How about I show you some other tricks instead? Starting with skipping this game of testing each other and just battling full power starting now. You should know better than anyone. I don't exactly have all the time in the world. To which a clearly more serious Vegito then responds back, yeah, I figured as much. After all, the last time I used the fusion dance, I couldn't even finish my fight with Beerus. I didn't really think I'd have to go all out traveling back here, but looks like that's just the way it's gonna be. As instantly the two begin to simultaneously vanish as if in perfect sync with each other, with Gogeta's final words being, glad you see it my way, and Vegito's being, oh rest assured, it will be you who sees more than you bargained for today. With immediately Gogeta's first attack being blocked with thunderous impact on Vegito's forearm, his face remaining emotionless as if not trying. But once Vegito responds with a punch of his own at full strength, the almost negligible gap in their power is observed, as Gogeta dodges at the last second, commenting, "Ha! Too slow, Vegito. I'll show you real speed!" Cocking back his own fist to slam onto Vegito. But in the end, the punch just lands flat on the palm of Ultra Vegito, who lets out, all that training and you're still an amateur. Speed is nothing if it's so obviously telegraphed. A real attack should be unexpected. As instantly, out of nowhere, Ultra Vegito extends his Godslayer blade, piercing Gogeta straight through his shoulder, sending him flying back as the blade continues to extend and cause even more pain and agony. What a move! Why can't I do that? As Gogeta continues to be pushed back a seemingly infinite amount. Until eventually, Gogeta stamps his feet into the ground and forcefully stops himself from moving back any further. But with the damage to his shoulder already done, with just one eye open and gritting his teeth as if it were an arrow he could remove, he lets out, "So, this is the Godslayer blade I've heard so much about. I've got to be one of the only destroyers to have felt this and not be dead, right?"
Yeah.
And I'm guessing I'm only going to just hurt myself trying to get this out. Vegito, now for the first time in a while, smiles, knowing he's finally got the upper hand, and replies, "Well, yeah, I guess you'd be right about that. But the night is young. Make the wrong move, and you might just turn out to be another destroyer 6 foot in the ground. And as for grabbing my Godslayer blade, I wouldn't recommend it if you value your fingers." But despite hearing this admission, Gogeta surprisingly looks upbeat, still smirking as he responds, "Oh, is that so? Well, if you're saying I can't get this out, then I'll just settle for you doing it for me." Leaving Vegito understandably perplexed as he questions, "And I'm going to be doing that because..." But as Vegito wonders, curiously, the fingers on Gogeta's outstretched right arm begin to move inwards, as if calling forth something. What is that? But suddenly, out the corner of Vegito's eye, rushing towards him, breaking the sound barrier as it travels at an unfathomable speed, is a lone energy ball. In fact, the third energy ball Ultra Vegito threw earlier in their fight that never chased after the God Killer until now. And it is then revealed for good reason Ultra Vegito tried his best to avoid them, as on impact an explosion of unparalleled magnitude is then seen. As just as Gogeta had said, the Godslayer Blade 2 breaks off in tandem. In the end, Ultra Gogeta is left smiling victorious, letting out, "That's why you let go, Vegito. Looks like Beerus was wrong. It's not me who needs to be more aware of my surroundings, it's you."
Honestly, it's both of you.
But suddenly, something begins to alarm Gogeta, his senses tingling as he knows things may not be as they seem. "Be aware of this surrounding, punk!" As unbelievably, Ultra Vegito appears from a time portal to strike Gogeta across the face without a second for the fused Saiyan to react, with anger and vigor on his face from even being forced to use such an ability. And of course, the hardened punch sends Ultra Gogeta flying far off for a massive crash landing. Vegito, having got some semblance of revenge, then wipes his mouth of the apparent damage of Gogeta's last attack, grunting out, "That was a good little move. Caught me off guard. I'll give you that. Forgive me if I take that for myself. Might be useful against that damn Grand Priest." But of course, not beaten yet, Ultra Gogeta, still smiling as if enjoying the battle to its fullest, regardless, responds, "Be my guest. What's mine is yours after all. Literally. I'd say I'll take that weird portal move of yours, but that's not something we're supposed to be able to do. Is it, Vegito?"
Yeah.
But as Gogeta stands, his mannerism finally changes, as if set and decided on his decision now, letting out, "Well, that was fun, Vegito, but I think we both know I have to finish this now or I'll end up defusing. We're just about equal, I'd say, physically at least. Now all that's left is who's mentally stronger and who's got the most energy. How about we test the latter with a good old-fashioned energy beam struggle? And don't you dare try and absorb this one. Fight me like a Saiyan, not an android." That said, Gogeta then confidently ascends into the air. While meanwhile, a smirking Vegito looks up, watching him carefully as he responds, "As you wish, but not sure how I'm going to avoid fighting you as an android. You know this arm of mine has given me infinite energy, don't you? This key beam struggle is pointless. This battle is already decided." But regardless of this critical information from Vegito, Ultra Gogeta just mutters, "Oh, I see. Well, we'll just see about that." As a bright ball of energy begins to form between the palm of his hands, creating shadows on his face as it illuminates the entire surrounding area. Until finally, it increases in size. While angling his body, he begins yelling, "Ka! May! Ha! May!" Meanwhile, a slightly confused but still full of himself Vegito would watch on from below, replying, I like the self-belief, even if pointless. So be it. A good old-fashioned Kamehameha versus Kamehameha battle, huh? Guess I'll be Gohan in this roleplay then. And with that, Ultra Vegito 2 then gets into stance and places his hands into the iconic position, then yelling out himself, But suddenly, something appears to go wrong. Something so wrong that it leaves Vegito absolutely and unusually speechless. As unbelievably, in a blink of an eye, Ultra Gogeta, without any kind of hand sign, instantly transmissions down to crouch just below Vegito. His arms still cocked back in position, ready to do only one move we all know, and Vegito too knows it. In his final moments, as he stares down, a realization finally comes along with an onslaught of fear over what will happen next as he yells out, "No! No! Gogeta, don't!" But ultimately, in the end, the ruthless Ultra Gogeta, no different to his counterpart, leaves no time to talk, and just like that, blasts Ultra Vegito into what seemingly is oblivion. But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag round 2 in the comments below if you want to see it.
Well, you heard Arch. Hashtag round 2 in the comments down below, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be getting a next one soon enough. So, this is the end for this video. See you next time, my Z fans. Sayonara.